there, Kirsten Neese with Cornerstone Homes and the Crescent Group today. We're here for our Tuesdays at 2. We're out at the Grove at Lux Lane. I'm here with Mike Lang. He's our President of Development. Super excited to have you out here today again, Mike. I swear every time I come to the Grove, it is a picture perfect blue sky, and
we've got the right day.
We got some great weather today for that. But today we want to have a conversation with Mike and talk about what he and his team at the Crescent Group do and how they're an integral part of the Cornerstone Homes team. So Mike, first, welcome. And
Thank you.
How did you get involved in the development team, and kind of give us a little bit of history about you and your background?
Yeah, well, it's a long story, but I'll try to make it short. My career started actually in the finance area in the banking business, and kind of learned how to work with companies, operating companies, which eventually got into the real estate development side. And I've worked with a lot of developers and builders financing their projects from the ground up, land acquisition, development, home building, construction. I got an opportunity through the Great Recession when banks had to take back a lot of property, and that entailed having to solve a lot of problems and develop through property. I actually was with a bank that actually spun off a development company, and I headed up that group where we were able to take property that had been partially developed or not developed and kind of work through the issues and develop it. So through that process, I kind of got to see the other side of the fence as far as not being a banker, but thinking and being like a developer. So that got me really involved in the industry. And then a few years later, as the economy was recovering and a lot more residential development was happening, I went back into banking to work for a large bank that really needed some help with someone who understood the development side. So I worked with a lot of clients, including Cornerstone Homes and the Crescent Group. And through that relationship led me to actually come on board and help with the team. And I'm really excited to be on the development side. A lot of cool things about being on the finance side, but this is where it all really happens. So I'm really excited to be here.
Well, it is so fun, and we're so glad to have you as part of the team. And you're such a detail-oriented guy, and because of your knowledge, it's just been great having you as part of our group. I know everybody at Cornerstone and in the offices everywhere really appreciates you. And it's not that unusual, actually. As you sat there and said that, that's exactly what my father-in-law did. It went from finance side into the home building industry. So
I figured that out pretty quick. Once I went back into banking, I kept being told by the folks I reported to that I'm thinking too much like a developer. You need to think more like a banker. So then I kind of knew that I needed to get back into the development side, which is really where I belonged. But it took me a while to get there, but figured it out.
That's good. That's good. So tell me a little bit about you and your team. You guys have a small group over there, but you have big shoes to fill and lots of things that you guys take care of. So tell us a little bit about what you guys
Roger
do.
Glover, our owner, obviously started the company many years ago, and he's really the visionary and kind of set the tone for the company over the past 20 years. And so we're kind of following that vision. A developer is kind of a really broad-based term. I mean, it can mean a lot of things. It can be one individual, but in our case, we actually have the Crescent Group as a team of professionals, project managers, myself, amenity director. So really, it's a lot of collaboration and focus on our group to really create the sense of community that it all starts from the first set of drawings all the way through finishing the project. So for me, it's just trying to keep everybody on track, making sure that we keep the end game, the end goal in mind, but also focusing on all the details every day.
Right.
Because there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And, there's multiple projects we're working on, so it's my job to keep everybody focused on.
You and your team, so you look for new projects and you scout and do all that, and you have to go through feasibility and everything like that. You manage active sites just like where we are today. And then you also install all of the amenities and everything that go with that. And I love it because being on the Cornerstone side of things more, we get to win awesome awards because we can start from a vision and go all the way through to the home building where everything is you exclusively develop for us, and that's awesome because we know what we want at the end, and we know that our team's going to provide that to us.
Yeah, it's a long process. I mean, if you try to break it down, what we do, I mean, we're managing the site development process. Like when we're out here, we have our project managers are on site every day, making sure the contractors are doing what they're supposed to be doing and staying on schedule. That's the site development process. But even before that, there's the whole site selection, land acquisition process, and that starts years before you see the lots being finished. A whole lot of that is finding the right sites, making deals with landowners, assembling the land, going through the whole rezoning process, going through this whole site plan approval process, and that could take anywhere from 18 to 24 months, and then you finally break ground and start developing the site, and then there's again a whole lot of collaboration between the contractors, the county, the municipalities, and the builder, and then there's not just the site contractor in developing the lots, but also all the amenities that we build on our sites, because we're very much focused on very nice amenities for our residents. So there's a lot of thought and a lot of design that goes into that you don't see. Because,
right, before
the ground breaks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a two-dimensional piece of paper. So I mean, it's one thing to put it on the plans, but there's another thing to implement it, and then create that vision once you're. And believe me, it has to start really early in the rezoning process, and that's kind of the challenge because, in the rezoning process, the counties basically want you to kind of design the whole community, and this is a couple years before you even know what you're going to be dealing with before you even cut down the first tree.
Yeah, so and you want to make sure that all the amenities and everything is suited for what the trends are, for what new home construction people are looking for, and that you're within your budget and you're within the county restrictions, and that the homeowners are going to be really happy with everything. So it is for sure a challenging
there's
process.
A lot of constraints you have to deal with, and I mean the first thing is knowing who your customer is, and we're fortunate that we focus on we're very focused because we're a 55 plus active adult developer builder.
Right.
So we know that market, and then you're basically dealing with the constraints of your natural resources, your land, and the different aspects of that land, but also the municipalities that are approving your plans, the DEQ, the environmental, the Army Corps of Engineers, budget constraints, all of those things you have to work within to kind of deliver that that final product.
Well, you and your team do an amazing job, because we've just recently won Community of the Year for two of our communities, the Cove at Magnolia Lakes and for Chickahominy Falls. So, clearly you and your team are doing a great job executing and planning it all out, the vision that really has started years before.
Yeah, and that's very rewarding because, in the development process, it's a series of, problems that you're trying to solve. And it's a long process, and again, you start back even before you go to rezoning. You might spend 12 months negotiating the land contracts, and then another 6 to 8 months for zoning, and then another 9 to 12 months for site plan approval. So when you finally get the site developed, work through all those problems, and then finally get our builder guys in here to build the homes, get the residents in, and then many months later you get an award, then it makes it all worthwhile. And it's great for us because we're a builder developer. We're not just clearing the site, putting in the roads and then leaving. We're working hand in hand with our construction partners, our home builder guys down the hall, and making sure that that everything is works out just perfectly as best we can for our residents. So that's when we finally get to the end and get those awards, it's very rewarding. Yeah.
For sure. And you do develop exclusively for Cornerstone Homes, but you do also have some other projects that you guys manage that are not suitable for Cornerstone, or just were great projects that you guys could take a hold of.
Sure.
But just wasn't something that was suitable for Cornerstone.
Yeah, and these days there's such a scarcity of land. It's not easy to find land, or land that can be developed, and land that's within water and sewer. So we look for sites, and the first thing we'll do is see if it's a site that's suitable for Cornerstone. But it kind of has to do with where it is and what the demographics are, and how large the piece of land is, and are we be able to build it into something for the 55 plus market. And if not, then our option is We have relationships with a lot of local builders, both national and regional and local builders. So we will, if it's not a good Cornerstone site, we'll look at it for another builder. And we'll use our resources with our team to, for the Crescent Group to develop for others.
Which is fantastic. Well, I guess we've kind of covered it all, right? Feasibility, getting the site going, the whole infrastructure. So Lena, if you'll just show everybody here, we're kind of at a site now where this is really, development's pretty well situated here. We've got a little bit more work to be done on this side of the grove with our utilities, but for the most part, we're ready for the contractors to come in and start building the homes. And then the houses go up. We're getting ready to break ground on all the amenities back here behind the bulldozers.
Yeah, right now this is phase 2, and obviously all the construction is going on over in phase 1. We'll be starting the first few units soon. But basically in here, as far as infrastructure, all the utilities are in. Obviously all the curb and gutter, the base pavement. We'll have to be, hopefully soon we'll be getting in the dry utilities, the power and gas, which will need to get going here in the next 30 days or so as they start construction. Other than that, the focus is back there where we'll have the amenities, the pavilion site, the site for our garden patch, corner patch gardens, and dog park and event lawn and all those kinds of things. So we're trying to map that out right now and figure out where everything's going to go. And again, because we started with a site plan, we were just out here last week and we had the site plan, and we're looking at it where the path is to get to the dog park and where exactly the dog park's going to be. But of course, we figured out it works better if we move it over here, you know, a little ways. So we're constantly making changes in the field to make sure it's going to be the best experience for our residents.
Which is just what I love so much about you guys being part of our team. And I know it sometimes can be challenging. And you're all dressed up today. You don't have your muddy boots on because you didn't have to go tromping through the mud. But I know a day for you can be super busy and lots of number crunching at times and lots of site visits.
I'm just happy to be out here when it's dry and warm. It's very rewarding.
And standing on pavement.
Right.
Asphalt. This is great. All right, well, before we break, I love to just do a little bit of personal fun things. So let's do a little rapid fire with you. And so let everybody know a little bit more about you.
Okay, I'll try.
Beach or mountains for a vacation trip?
I love both, but I'll take the beach.
All right. Spring, summer, fall, or winter?
Summer all the way.
Yep, today's a pretty nice day too. Pizza or cheesesteak?
Pizza.
I don't know that he eats much of anything. He's so fit.
I'll eat all of that, but again, there's no wrong answer there, but I'll take pizza.
There you go.
If I have to choose.
All right, New York style or
doesn't matter.
California? Doesn't matter. All right. What series are you binge watching?
None right now, but I guess if I had a favorite would be Bloodline, Ozark.
Ozark was really good. Definitely. It's coming on this
I don't have
summer.
one now. I got to find.
I know. We got to find a good one.
Give me a suggestion.
Yellowstone. Yellowstone's a great one.
I did say.
What book are you reading? Do you even have time to read a book?
I read a lot of emails about real estate development. No, I'm trying to find a new one. The one most recent one that I really liked was Killing the Rising Sun.
Yeah.
It's one of the Bill O'Reilly books.
Yeah, that is
I love
a good one.
that series. So that was about obviously the whole Japan, World War II, and so that
That's a good
I
one.
like history, so that was good.
Good. Well, this has been so great. I'm sorry to take you away from your busy day, but I
No
know
problem.
all of our viewers really appreciate being with you and hearing from you. So thanks so much for taking the time.
No problem. Thank you.
All right.